Today on the channel, an unboxing and cook with me from the Dinnerly meal service. Welcome back, friends. Today on the channel I am sharing with you an opportunity that I was recently given to put on my blog and to review, and that is the Dinnerly subscription box. I was given the option to have one meat-centric meal and 2 vegetarian meal options. We gave the non-vegan vegetarian option to friends who came and stayed with us the previous weekend. And as you can see, the meal kit is very basic. It's delivered to your door. You go online, you pick your meals for the week, and with comparable pricing to many subscription plans, around $5 per portion per person per meal, this is a great kit for people that are looking for new ways to incorporate new types of foods into their lifestyle at home each season. I really enjoyed the insignia on the box. They're super cute things, are very family centric, and who doesn't love knowing that these were magical times? It's also budget friendly, earth friendly, friendly, and how can you go wrong there? So friends, in terms of the unboxing, the Dinnerly service comes, as most typical meal services do, into your home in a series of boxes with reusable ice packs, which I do appreciate because I do reuse those throughout the year, which is pretty awesome. And here you can see Daniel kind of delving into the first box where we have a pack of spinach and also jalapenos and kale and lettuce and cremini mushrooms, and the lettuce I believe is butterleaf lettuce, and 2 bags of rigatoni, additional ginger and mushrooms, and in the second part of the bag they do put the meat and dairy in the bottom, which is a nice touch to keep those separated. And even though I am vegan myself and my husband and daughter are mostly vegetarian, I do appreciate having them put towards the bottom, both to keep cold and so that they're a little bit more sanitary in the first box that we opened. And then moving on to the second box, I noticed a lot of the same thing. Of course, we have your veggies towards the top and your pasta and your ginger, and we had our packs of polenta and sherry. It even comes with the oil for cooking, which is awesome, as well as onions and tomatoes. Now, I didn't use the large, beautiful onions that came with this pack because I'm allergic, including just cutting them open. I can't really take the sulfur in them, so we did donate those to a neighbor, but they of course were included, and that polenta is beautiful and yellow and top quality. Also, of course, almonds, which were used in one of the recipes that you will see, and of course again in the bottom some of the meat and dairy and things of this sorting. The portions on the Dinnerly service are ample. They are designed, of course, for 2 meals for 2 adults or for a family of 4 or 5. I found that for the 3 of us plus the company that we had, it was more than enough for everyone. Review kit to include a meal that had meat in it because we were expecting company this weekend, and the first meal that we were able to try out were Asian inspired turkey cups with lettuce and rice and a lot of wonderful veggies. And so the first recipe that I will be showing you will be those lettuce cups right now. Do keep in mind that all the recipes will be featured on Dinnerly if you are interested in any of these meals, depending on which week they are, but they are carried, of course, by the company as a whole. So to get started with the turkey stir-fry lettuce cups, Daniel went ahead and dove in and peeled the jalapenos, diced the garlic and the ginger, as well as putting the lettuce to the side that he will get to in a minute. And he is a pro and his chopping game is excellent, so I definitely was happy to see him dive in. Of course, going into the jalapenos and making sure those are seeded, and of course all the seeds and stems and all that fun stuff to be put in compost. Also, something that is really nice about this kit is that they make sure that the portions, again, are not only ample, but you will probably have a little bit extra. And as you can see, Daniel just making sure to get all those extra little bits out of there. And so at that point, everything is chopped up and we are good to go. And much like the first box, you will of course see the rest of the ingredients in the box. I love that the service has really beautiful organic produce. Also, this is one of the more frugal services in terms of meal delivery kits across the board, which I definitely appreciate. And it comes with a handy checklist, which is great for preparing your meals, especially since the first meal I was going to prepare for company coming over, so I wanted to make sure that everything was perfect and I was on my A game there. As you can see, the kale, spinach, tomatoes, ginger, everything coming out of this second box was top notch. Definitely love that nothing was crushed, everything was pristine, and I was able to, of course, recycle all of the plastic that came with the package, which was great. My daughter was excited to see the ginger and the garlic, as she is a super fan, as I was, of the pasta, which looks amazing, and so were those baby Bellas that came with it, and the almonds, super, super delicious. And like I mentioned, we had arranged to have this. And here Daniel was just finishing up the last of his chopping and making sure that everything was ready to go for this stir fry, which was super simple to make. And the best part for me is I had somebody to help me out along the way too. Daniel also took the time to go ahead and chop up this beautiful butter leaf lettuce, taking off the ends, chopping it up, putting the leaves to the side. Then he went ahead and took care of the rice, first of course by cutting it and rinsing it before adding it to the rice cooker. Keeping in mind we were using kitty scissors, because when we asked our little one to go get us scissors, that's what she brought, you know, mom life. All the moms will understand that one. Then once we were able to rinse off the excess starch from the rice, we went ahead, put it in the rice cooker with proper amounts of water, a little bit of salt, and put it on the 10-minute cook cycle, and we were definitely good to go. What I love about this kit also is, in addition to the vegetables, we received organic rice as well, and so as you know how expensive those products can be, loved seeing that again in this kit. Wanted to mention that we are using filtered water for this stage. And we're just going to add the lid, make sure it's on, and be back to check on that momentarily. In the meanwhile, Daniel went ahead, cut open the organic turkey, mixed it with flour, salt and pepper, a little bit of our homemade Italian seasoning, put it into the pan with olive oil and let it cook down. Once it was halfway cooked down, he added the jalapenos as well as a cup of water to create a little bit of a roux to thicken up the mixture. At that point, it would be a lot tastier for your stir fry wraps. And with a few quick stirs, as you can see here, the turkey was done, as was the rice, and at that point it was ready to be assembled for our guest. We went ahead and served them and they loved it. As you can see, the lettuce is super easy to assemble, just put it together. You would on top of that, of course, add your rice as well as your stir-fried turkey meat, and you are good to go. This meal took less than 15-16 minutes to put together, and I was super excited. My guests loved it. My husband had some of a wrap and he really enjoyed it. I myself took the time to have a meat substitute instead of the turkey, and I liked what I had as well. Definitely would recommend this. How beautiful, so simple to put together, uber tasty, and the best part is everyone there really liked it, and I had so much time to reinvest with my guests and my company and not really slaving over a stove. And the best part, my guests definitely asked for the information about Dinnerly and said they would be ordering. This is a great weeknight meal, perfect for date nights in, or if the little one had friends over, this is the meal you want to go to. And what little one doesn't love finger food? Now, my husband opted, and my guest, to have jalapenos with their cups, so more better there, but overall absolutely delicious and could not recommend this dish more. Dinnerly did a great For our second dinnerly meal, we tried out the spinach pesto pasta with roasted tomato. This meal was also super simple to put together, and of course we needed a chef, fresh baby spinach, almonds, pasta. We used our own kosher salt and Italian pepper blend, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 pads of Parmesan cheese, and 3 large plum tomatoes, spatula, the rice cooker, strainer, a baking sheet, and of course the stove. And to get started, Daniel just peeled the garlic and minced the garlic, and then went into the spinach and the tomatoes and giving those a rough chop. Now, generally recommends removing the stems from baby spinach, but we kept them on. But of course, if you prefer to do that, absolutely, by all means, go ahead. Then we used the pepper mill to grind up the almonds, and then finished by. And how amazing does this look? Super delicious, super easy. Everybody at home loved it and could be easily adapted for your taste that you have in your family. Again, generally hit the ball out of the park with this second meal as well. The next thing we did was go over to the rice cooker using 3 cups filtered water and the rigatoni and a little bit of kosher salt, setting the pasta to boil. It takes about 10 minutes with our particular unit, so your mileage will vary there. I love using kosher salt. It's something that my grandmother always used, and while it was not provided in the kit, I was not put out at all by having to provide my own salt and pepper. I actually preferred it. Then making sure just to top off a little bit extra water and setting it to cook and giving it about 10 minutes until it was absolutely done, and then switching gears again and going over to the tomatoes, laying them out on a pie dish. I kind of prefer it to round cookie sheets, but to each your own, making sure that they are flat, they are evenly sliced, and then after they are laid out throughout your pan, making sure that you thoroughly season the tomatoes. We again used salt, pepper, a little bit of our homemade DIY Italian seasoning, and a pinch of the provided Parmesan. You're going to roast your tomatoes, of course. We use our convection oven, which gives you a really nice even broil on those tomatoes, and that will be the base flavor for your pasta that you will see us make in just a minute. And again, a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of Italian seasoning. This would also taste great with a little bit of turmeric, or perhaps your own spice blends that you have on hand. Also, this could be easily adapted for people that are cutting the sodium out of their diets as well at home. Again, we made sure that those were seasoned and put into the convection oven for 10 minutes so that they would roast. And when they were done, they were absolutely gorgeous, as you can see here, ready for the pasta. Then turning to the stove, putting it on medium heat, went ahead and put the drained pasta into the pan along with the spinach and Parmesan and a little bit of salt and pepper, and of course those wonderful ground up almonds. I cut the heat off after about 1.5 minutes because you have so much residual heat that you really don't need to have it on to wilt the spinach, especially if you are using a glass lid. And a tip, crock pot lids are amazing with cast iron pans, so if you have a rando pan, definitely give that a try. Then make sure that you're adding your tomatoes, of course, to it. Give it a little bit of a stir, making sure everything is well incorporated, and you will, of course, add in your baby spinach and make sure that everything is well combined. You'll just go ahead and put your lid on and let it go low and slow for just a few minutes before you are definitely ready to dig in to everything that you're about to have. And for our third meal, we chose the polenta topped with roasted mushrooms and kale. Again, for this recipe, Chef Daniel, your kale, mushrooms, polenta, olive oil, sherry, kosher salt, and pepper. We only used 1 pack of polenta for the recipe because it was polenta enough for all of us. But of course, if you have a large family, by all means you would use it. As you can see here, we are cutting up the mushrooms. If you like it a little less woody, you could of course remove the stems. We like to use the whole thing. We took, again, the stems off of the kale, seasoned it thoroughly, and seasoned the mushrooms, which we baked in the convection oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees, at which time we removed them, made sure that they were good and roasted, added our kale that has been seasoned on top of it, returned it to the convection oven for another 10 minutes. And once that's done, we made sure that it was good to go, perfectly roasted in just about 20 minutes. Once that was done, we gave an additional toss with a little bit more salt and pepper and some of the sherry vinaigrette. Once that was done, we made sure that our polenta that we cooked by boiling 3 cups of water, adding seasoning and a little bit of Parmesan in our rice cooker was done, which is super simple. And guys, if you haven't tried polenta, you definitely need to do so. It is absolutely delicious. It's akin to grits, hominy, but just has a really deep flavor base, and it will be the perfect accompaniment to this dinnerly meal and other meals. And as you can see, just finish off your polenta, make sure it's done. It took about 15 minutes while the vegetables were roasting, and once it was done, just assemble, add a little olive oil around your plate, and you are good to go. Super delicious, super nutritious, and about as easy as it gets. Guys, I have so loved this new dinnerly kit. I would definitely recommend for others. Again, remember, I did receive this as a review item, but it is something that I wholeheartedly share with you because I love it that much. With that said, I will definitely put a link in the description bar below where you can check out the service and all these meals. I'd love it if you hit that little red subscribe button, turn on notifications, give me a thumbs up, and let me know if you've tried any dinner kits yourself lately. And as always, please be kind to yourself and to others. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching.